So, moving on to the next one, which is my first spice. Piper cubeb, or tail pepper. Okay. Now, for me, this, goodness me, it's a real roller coaster botanical. If you take one of the pepper grains and you crunch it between your teeth, you get a huge avalanche of flavours just coming through. So, for instance, first of all, you get the peppery notes that come through, and then for me, as Desmond quite rightly said, there's different people that experience flavours in a different way, but for me, I get a menthol stroke eucalyptus, and then I go through to lavender, and then I get some of the resurgence of the peppery notes coming through. So all in all, I think it's an absolutely stunning, vibrant botanical, and sits very well within gin distillation. So, where's it been used before? Okay, cubeb berries has got a great history. Again, smoked for asthma, smoked for curing phlegm. It was used as a fertility treatment as well. So it's had a great history throughout medicine, and medicine coming through. And I guess that's what we're all saying is a lot of the basis and fundamentals of the botanicals we're using in our gins today. So, Piper cubeb. Where did it come from? In Java. Okay, is the most significant section of growth there. And it's grown, it is cultivated, but then harvested prematurely, blanched mainly, so that often you won't get the seeds that you can use to grow. But it was used extensively in the 1600s as a substitute for pepper. And then as pepper became, or Piper niger, as it became more common, it was then removed from in common use. So, a lovely and versatile botanical. So, moving on to the next one, please. Cinnamomum cassia. Now, not many people know this, but there's 4 different types of cinnamon or cassia, if you want. Now, the first one is the common one, which we've all used and has a great history with gin distillation, and I'll get to that in a minute. But there's 4 different types. So there's Chinese cassia, which is Cassimomum cassia, or Cinnamomum cassia. The second one is Ceylon cassia. Okay. Third one is Indonesia, and then you have Saigon cassia as well. So there's 4 different types. Now they all have a slightly different profile, but for me, again, as I said, taste and aroma, interpretation is all very wide and different. But for me, it's a lovely, delicate, yet pungent, aromatic cinnamon flavour that's really quite delicate but warming. And hence that comes into how we taste it and where it's been used before. So medicines, it's used for coughs and colds and warming, which I think is wonderful. So it's actually a cultivated plant. And so what happens now, Indochina, is basically the farmers will take seedlings and they're cultivated, and then they'll plant them out into the wet uplands. And what they'll do then is after a year they'll coppice them. And then from that root you have 10 shoots, and in about 10 years' time after that, you simply peel the bark. Now different cassias or cinnamomums, you may beat them and then peel back to produce quills, or you can simply grind them. So again, it's very versatile. Gin distillation. Now I always think it's quite fun, because looking at the cassia, originally mixed with goose fat, the Romans used to perfume themselves. And it was once said in the Roman Empire that anyone who didn't smell of cinnamon and goose fat obviously wasn't a true Roman. So that was one of the earliest ones. But going forward from there, it was then used for sweets, for confectionaries, etc. Now, Ceylon was a great place for cassia, and then the Dutch in 1638 started to take over Ceylon and remove the Portuguese from there. And I guess that's kind of where the interaction with gin distillation may have come from, especially with London gin. So, for instance, they came in by 1640, they'd taken over basically all of the Ceylon production of cassia. After that, the English went in and also developed further cultivation of cassia, bringing it back into the UK. Kind of fell out of fashion when chocolates, confectionaries became slightly more prevalent. But for me, it's got a very, very affectionate place in my heart. It's a lovely, warming botanical, which is great on a winter's night when slightly warmed. Go to the next one, please. Aphramomum melegueta, or Grace Paradise. Now this is an interesting one for me. Personally speaking, it's a fiery number. Love it. Put a little one between your teeth, grind it up, and you get this huge rush of spice, but also citruses coming through. So it's very, very versatile, and this one stays with you. It lingers, tantalising, tingling your tongue. So for me, it's a lovely botanical to put in there. So it has great echoes. 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes later, after you've had that first sip, you've still got the echo and the sensations in your tongue and mouth. Wonderful. It's harvested when it's not mature. It's then ripened. It's then beaten. The seeds are extracted, sifted, and then produced. And this was the reason why the west coast of Africa was actually called the Pep Coast, because this was the main product that was exported. It's not just Ghana now. It reaches down to the northern parts of Ethiopia. But again, great versatility, and it's a lovely botanical to have that. As I said, the echoes of the pepper tingling on your tongue. So, just one more, I believe. Oh, sorry, no. That one's we're not going through that. So those are the 4 ones that I'm looking at in particular today. And I was sat here and I was challenged with where do I go after to these 4 experts. And for me, we've spoken about our gins, and that's kind of our part of the deal. The next part of the deal is with you guys. How would we suggest servings? How do you suggest servings for us? Our role is consistency, it's quality. Okay, and that quality is exactly the same as. So that's our kind of part of the bargain. So for yourselves, how would you taste? How would you consume? How would you enjoy? Sam Carter and I were just having a bit of fun with this, and we're thinking about the angelica being used to flavour reindeer milk. So let's think about perhaps a walk down Gin Lane, where we've got Bombay Sapphire, we've got 20 mils of agette, a syrup, and then we've got warm milk, and warmed up and served with a bit of cinnamon. So it's wonderful, it's bringing through the spices, but it's a new kind of reinvention of how we would serve. It's coming up to the winter, what a great idea. And for Sam and I, it was about fun. It was about enjoying the products, and it was about young vitality and seeing how we could recreate some of the traditional ones. Again, for me, a martini. Wow, what a great drink. Coming back into angelica, of course, angelica used, the seeds are used often in the vermouth. So for me, a very, very dry martini. But also, with Bombay Sapphire, it brings out the peppers and the echoes. So wonderful, wonderful way to enjoy our products. And that is the challenge that we all have here. Not just for consistency, but how we consume, how we reinvent. And that is the partnership we both have. And that's it from me. Thank you.